7 students. So today we will continue with chemical reaction and conservation of mass. So the objectives for today are define mass and explore the law of conservation of mass. What is mass? Mass is the amount of matter in an object. So the SI unit of mass is gram. So as we explained last time, acid reacting with carbonate, we have here baking soda plus acids such as vinegar. It gives us three products: carbon dioxide, water, and salt. As we know, baking soda and acid are the reactants, while carbon dioxide, water, and salt are the products. So, is the mass of reactants equal to the mass of products? We will see. So after watching this video, we noticed that the mass of the reactants remains the same at the end of the experiment, 142 grams. We conclude that mass is conserved. Think loudly. What is the mass of baking soda and vinegar before mixing them? Of course, according to these photos, to these figures, okay? Specify what happens when you add baking soda to the vinegar. What is the mass of baking soda and vinegar after the occurrence of chemical reaction? And what do you conclude? Correct your answers. What is the mass of baking soda and vinegar before mixing them? The mass is 3.861 gram, as you see in the figure, the first figure, before a chemical reaction occurs. So the second question is, specify what happens when you add baking soda to the vinegar. So a chemical reaction takes place because new substances are produced. What are the signs? The signs are formation of gas and salt. The third question is, what is the mass of baking soda and vinegar after mixing them? So after a chemical reaction takes place or at the end of the reaction, what is the mass of baking soda and vinegar? So the mass is 3.861 gram, as you see in figure 2. So what do you conclude? Mass doesn't change during a chemical reaction. Mass of reactants equal mass of products. Mass is conserved during a chemical reaction. As a conclusion, baking soda or carbonate plus vinegar or acid gives us carbon dioxide plus salt plus water, which are the products. We conclude that, as a conclusion, mass doesn't change during a chemical reaction. Mass is conserved. I mean, it remains the same during a chemical reaction. This is called Lavoisier's law, which states that matter is neither created nor destroyed during a chemical change. There is only transformation. يعني هون this law عم بيقول matter is neither created nor destroyed during a chemical reaction. There is only transformation. يعني الماس of reactants ما بيتغير، بيضلوا مثل ما هو at the end of the reaction. So the mass of reactants equal mass of products. Mass doesn't change. There is only transformation. بس بيصير في عنا transformation. بيتحولوا الرياكتنتس لبرودكتس، بيصير في عنا new substances، بيصير في عنا chemical reaction, but mass doesn't change. So as you see here, this figure, the first one, is showing us the reactants before a chemical reaction takes place. Baking soda plus vinegar with mass 3.861 gram. The second and the third photo shows us the products when a chemical reaction takes place. The mass remains the same, 3.861 gram. Before the reaction, the mass is 3.86 gram, and after the reaction, the mass is conserved. The mass remains the same. So mass is conserved during chemical reaction. What happens to the mass at the end? Mass is conserved during a chemical reaction. Explain. Because the measurement of mass doesn't change during the chemical reaction. It is conserved. Mass of شو يعني it is conserved؟ يعني mass of reactants is equal to the mass of products. Mass is conserved during a chemical reaction. The mass of reactants is equal to the mass of products. Mass doesn't change during a chemical reaction. For example, carbon dioxide, carbon plus oxygen, these are the reactants. They produce carbon dioxide. Circle the products and underline the reactants. So the product is carbon dioxide. The reactants are carbon and oxygen. If the mass of the reactants equal 20 gram, if the mass of the reactants اللي هن الكربون والأكسجين equals 20 gram, what will be the mass of product? نحن قلنا during a chemical reaction mass is conserved, يعني mass remains the same. إذا الماس للreactants هن 20 gram, so حيكون الماس للproducts is the same, which is 20 gram. So mass of products equal 20 gram. How did you know? Since mass doesn't change during a chemical reaction.